It was a dramatic federal intervention in a massive bushfire crisis. Their predictions were shockingly accurate. Bushfires across the country have burnt more than 6 million hectares. Over 1,500 homes have been lost and 23 people have died.
As Australian Sri Lankans in Sydney, combined with all Sri Lankan associations, partnership with Cultural Forum, past pupil school organisations and others collectively, including Sri Lankan Consul General and staff, stand with solidarity with communities affected by the bushfires and those who are helping them. Today's fundraising project is to collect as much funds and hand over to the NSW Rural Fire Service directly to benefit volunteer fire workers and the victims of the crisis. Be proud to be a Sri Lankan. Enjoy watching the video. Thank you.
on which we are meeting this evening. The Bijigal people of the Eora nation, who are the traditional custodians of this land. I would also like to pay our respects to the elders, past and present. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Sri Lankan community and from the staff of the Sri Lankan Consulate General's Office. It's my absolute honor to warmly welcome you to Hearts Aflame. Thank you for being here. My name is Duke Ramachandran, and it's my pleasure being here and being your MC this evening. I'd like to welcome our chief guest this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the Honourable Peter Primrose, member of the Legislative Council, the Shadow Cabinet Secretary, and representing Jodie McKay, the Municipal Parliament Leader of the Opposition. And also welcoming Jan Primrose. Welcome to you. Also, a warm welcome to Mr. M.H.M.N. Bandara, our Consul General for New South Wales and Queensland, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Bandara has been around, I think it's probably its third month in Sydney, and a warm welcome to you, sir. A wonderful man. If you haven't met him, please say hello to him. He's around somewhere. And from the Consul General's office, of course, Mr. M.M. Abdul Rahim is here as well, the Consul Commercial. And thank you. And Consul Mrs. Bushfire as well. And the staff from the Consul General's office, a warm welcome to all of you. And amongst us, we also have the maestro, the legend, the evergreen Desmond De Silva as well. So welcome to Desmond and Phyllis, his lovely wife. Friends, tonight, I've been 35 years, lived in Sydney, and I've seen on a few occasions the community gather around. And they gathered around, and never seen the community gather around with so much passion, so much love for this land, this adopted nation that many of us call home. Tonight, Sri Lankans in Sydney have united together for this fundraiser to support the affected communities from the bushfires. Tonight we are supporting the Rural Fire Services, the RFS, and all proceeds, I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, all proceeds from tonight will go to the RFS. So I think you guys should give yourself a big hand for being here. It's absolutely confronting and sobering reminder of the enormity of the risk and challenge associated with this fire season and all the firefighting effort that goes along with it. As I said, in my 35 years, I never witnessed anything like what we are witnessing now. Countless stories of devastation on a daily basis is emerging around this beautiful country of ours. Our country is burning. The scale of this crisis is absolutely hard to comprehend. The wildfires have so far burned more than, listen to this, 12 million hectares. 12 million hectares. They have killed at least 27 people and thousands of homes have been destroyed. In New South Wales alone, the fires have killed nearly 500 million birds, reptiles, and mammals. To add to that, our hearts broke when we heard the news of firefighters Jeffrey Keaton and Andrew O'Dwyer, who were killed during the Green Bottle Creek fire, and Samuel McPaul, who was killed at the Green Valley fireground. Then last week, we lost US airmen who've come to our aid. Captain Ian Macbeth, First Officer Paul Clyde Hudson, and Flight Engineer Rick D. Morgan Jr. were killed when their water bombing tanker crashed northeast of Kuma. Just for a moment, let's ponder. Just for a moment, let's think of the lives lost and the families, the toll that's taken on these families. It is hard. Most of us, what we get is on TV, social media, hearsay, word of mouth that goes around, and we feel that pain, we feel that pressure. But there's nothing that we feel is comparable to those who are suffering. Loss of lives, loss of wildlife, homes, and those who are sacrificed their lives just to look after our well-being. Tonight, you're here. Tonight, as citizens of this beautiful land that welcomed us with open arms, think about what can you give back at a time of need. Tonight, we have rallied around. Tonight, you're here. Tonight, you've already put your hand up that you want to be here. You want to sacrifice your Saturday night to be here. So that's the first step. The organizers of tonight, what they have done is laid a foundation. The foundation, the inauguration of this charity for the firefighters, for the RFS, our brothers and sisters. Tonight, a foundation has been laid. It's up to us to carry this forward and to help when possible, whatever means possible. Tonight, I think if you look on your at your table, there are some pledge forms on how you can support. There is an auction item that's perhaps finished, but we've got the Don Bradman's bat that's been donated to us thanks to Harry Solomons and King's Grove, one of our partners. So think about that, how you can help. With that said, I'd like to thank our partners and welcome our partners. Without your support, this is totally an impossible task. Impossible at very best. Tonight, we thank you. Our platinum partners, one of the chaps who sort of got the brains around and sort of kick-started all this and puts a lot of time. Those who have given time and their means, it's their own time, and their time, which is obviously it's their work life as well, and money. Our platinum partner, Sounds, Lights, Vision, Event 360 Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Shanagatenakun and Salia. Thank you very much. Our platinum partner as well, King's Grove Sports, for donating the Don Bradman memorabilia, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Solomons. Unfortunately, Harry's unable to be here, but he's up there organizing cricket events, as he does. Our platinum partner, live music, the band Mystery from Melbourne. Thank you very much, guys. It's all courtesy staff, Dilip J, Nalin Tamil and the crew, and of course DJ by Shankster. Our gold partner, Universal in Parramatta, do visit them. So friends, where did all this start? Where did all this kickstart? This was a project initiated by Nishanta Jayakodi, who's the president of the Ananda OBA in New South Wales. Let me hear this. I mean, they also collected a sum of 3,000 and donated to the authorities, before which will be counted as part of this project tonight. Sydney Uppy, one of those great organizations who are behind many of these fundraising events are behind one of them as well, are leading supporters. So Sydney Afi, fantastic effort, guys. And of course, this other group, they've been around for many, many years. They are a fabulous community-minded organization, always thinking of what they can do for the community. And I talk about the Sinhalese Cultural Forum, and we have the president, Upul Padaka here as well. And they are donating all what they've collected by having a lunch packet project at their ceremony to the RFS. So well done, guys. Heartwarming stuff, fantastic. Also like to thank Ananda OBU, Wesley College Old Boys Association, Nisa Sapidines here, so thank you. New South Wales Malay Association, Nisa as well. Mahanama College Old Boys Association, Devi Balika Past Pupils Association, New South Wales and ACT, Sampath Lianage, Nishanta Jayakori, who's part of the committee, that's the organization behind it. And these are individuals, ladies and gentlemen, they're putting their own full time as well. Nishanta Jayakori, Sam Mandenia, Indika Nimalaratna, Jagat Bandara, Dominda De Silva, Priyanka Samarasinghe, Eranga Lianage, Chamira Jayasekara, Rizan Rizvi, Ms. Sivakumaran, Walter Senivaratna, Mano Manoharan, Salia Tenakon, who's the chairman and the committee. So, very well done. So, I think you guys deserve a huge hand. I think, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Please be proud that you are part of one of the greatest events in Sydney tonight. Tonight I got a couple of messages from dignitaries who are unable to attend here tonight. The first message is from Ms. Jodie McKay, Leader of the Opposition, Shadow Minister for Multiculturalism, Member for Stratfield. The office of Ms. Jodie McKay has sent this message. Thank you for the invitation extended. Unfortunately, Jodie has a prior engagement and is unable to attend. Please accept her apologies on this occasion. However, we would like to confirm that Mr. Peter Primrose, Shadow Cabinet Secretary, Member of the Legislative Council, will be attending and representing Jodie and the New South Wales opposition on this occasion. Welcome Mr. Primrose and Mrs. Primrose.
Thank you, Louis. Once again, I would love to welcome Honourable Shadow Parliamentary Secretary for the New South Wales Parliament, Honourable Peter Primrose, and his wonderful wife, Jan Primrose, and also our distinguished guests, including Consular General for Sri Lanka, Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and also our parents, our brothers, our sisters, who are present today. As you can see, we all, or many of us, was born in Sri Lanka. That is our motherland. But then, as Duke said, we choose this country as our second home, and for most of us, this could be our first home. We have gained so much benefits from this land. Some of us educated on this land, and our professional career, we are doing our services for this land. In the same time, in return, we getting so many benefits from this land. While we are paying our proper taxes to this community, and it is our duty, when this community is in trouble, we must get together. We don't need any other conditions. Unconditionally, we have a duty to support Australia. As you can see, we have seen in last few months, our own community members are suffering. And we have seen that it is our duty to come forward as Sri Lankan community, collectively try to do something and to show the Australian community we part of your community as well, and we do care about this country, Australia. We all, in our motherland, if there's anything else happening, we do support Sri Lanka. Of course, that's our country. We love Sri Lanka. In the same time, as a Sri Lankan community, we want to support Australia. Because of these things, thinking, group of us, we had discussions how we can address this issue. As a result, we managed to organize collectively today this magnificent event.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the wonderful invitation to be here this evening. I'd like to begin by also acknowledging the traditional owners of this country. I've already met and have been very grateful to have a discussion with the Consular General. I've met a number of members of the organising committee this evening, including obviously my very good friend Jagat Bandara, and want to congratulate everyone for the event that's happening here now. I also want to acknowledge all of those small businesses and others who have contributed as partners. You're very much part of this community effort, and the whole of the Sri Lankan community should be incredibly proud of what you're doing this evening and what you'll continue to do into the future. Jody Mackay, like many of us in the Shadow Ministry, has been travelling throughout New South Wales over the last couple of months. I mean, this disaster affecting our state has been going on since September of last year. I mean, Jody this week, for example, was in the area around Tumut and Bega and visiting local communities down there. And I'm really pleased that she's announced that our very first community shadow cabinet meeting in 2 weeks will take place in Tumut, because we want to be there, work with local communities as they start to rebuild and to support their communities as well. But to give you an idea of just one simple fact that hit me about the devastation, when we were organising to go to Tumut, I've been to Tumut many, many times. It's a beautiful part of New South Wales, and I always stay in the local community. We were told that virtually there's nowhere to stay now because of the bushfires. The bushfires have actually just burnt down the areas where we were planning to stay overnight. So we're going to have to go as far away as Wagga Wagga to actually find accommodation so we could go into Tumut for our meetings. But we're going to do that. I mean, that's a small thing for us, but it just begins to bring home some of the ongoing economic devastation that will affect those communities in the long term. I was at a meeting in Hawkesbury on Monday night, and we were talking about the devastation there. Now, your wonderful MC has already outlined a number of the statistics, but what really rams it home to you is when you begin to hear some of the personal stories and some of the things that are happening. Because this is not going to go away. I mean, people are out fighting fires today. People will be out fighting fires tomorrow. People will be suffering today, and it's quite possible that not only have houses been lost today, but people have been injured, and I sincerely hope that the worst hasn't happened. But we've got a long way to go in this tragedy. It's not, even when the fires eventually go out, this tragedy will continue going on for many, many months, and indeed in a lot of cases, many, many years. And I'd just like to mention two things to you about the Rural Fire Service and the involvement of those wonderful volunteers in efforts. And there's just two of many thousands of incidents. Before I entered State Parliament, I'm a professional social worker, and I used to be actually Disaster Welfare Coordinator for Western Sydney with the Health Department. But I've got a long-term friend who's also a social worker living up in the Coffs Harbour area. When the fires were affecting that area, he texted me and said, look, I'm simply looking
On the president of the Sinhalese Cultural Forum in New South Wales to hand over a cheque to a Consul General Mr. M.N. Bandara called out as well. Mr. Bandara, if I can ask you to come along as well, and also asking this cultural forum on behalf going to the RFS, and on behalf of the RFS we'll have Consul General Bandara accept the check. And it's for 10,300 worthy the very last piece given as well. The Don, Sir Don, 99, the last innings he played on the 18th of August, 19, for this all-important occasion. To help our fireys around us, we're going to give something back. At the same room, the sports memorabilia room, or anywhere that you wish to hang this or display. It's totally framed, thanks to donated, thanks to Harry Solomons from King's Row. So tonight, we're going to have some bids. All proceeds, let me repeat, all proceeds will go into the RFS. There's no admin fees, nothing, straight in. So tonight, be the proud owner. Opening bid is $2,000. $2,000. The opening bid this evening. 9.94, ladies and gentlemen. That is amazing. No one's going to be breaking that. Perhaps Saikara came close. But the Don is going to be standing out there to be the envy of all your friends and family. 6,500 is the next call. 6,000 is what I have. 6,000 going once, 6,500, 6,500, 6,000, 6,000 going once, 6,000 going once, 6,000 going twice, 6,500 is the course. All for a wonderful cause. 7,000 is the next call. 7,000, ladies and gentlemen. 6.5 going once, 6.5 going once, 6.5 going once, 6.5 going once. Sell your car, sell whatever. Come on, 7,000, another $500. Come on, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kingsley, the Don himself.
All Sydney happy. Everyone stop. Everyone. That's the committee. Shanaga. You have to be here.
Okay. So let me ask. Did you wake up one morning? What triggered you to do what you're doing now?
It's a bit of a funny story. When I moved to my place in Sherbrooke, I'm backing into a reserve, so I was always doubtful if something was to go wrong, how am I going to protect my family? Then when the Bunnings, I got the irrigation pipes with the sprinklers on, but then a few days I wasn't really happy about it, so I thought I'd come in to re-educate myself.
At this donation, it's 10,570, and I believe there's more coming from from the pledge forms as well. But here's a start. As I said, tonight is an inauguration of this charity and this fund. So this is going to